AI-generated content can spread false or misleading information. Identifying such content helps prevent the dissemination of inaccuracies. So, in this work, we highlight the capabilities of machine learning models in identifying synthetic information, and at the same time, the inadequacy of explainable AI techniques like line, SHAP, and integrated gradients in interpreting the behavior of the model. So the results from the work emphasize the need for better tools to help interpret the functioning of machine learning models. Let us look at the details. So we set out with these research questions. The first research question is to see whether the dimensions of the vectors capture the traits that distinguish synthetic text. And the second research question is to see if the explainable AI techniques like line, SHAP, and integrated gradients explain what traits were captured and give more insights into the machine learning model behavior. So for our experiments, we used two data sets. HC3 is a question answering data set based on the public human ChatGPT comparison corpus. Its main objective is to compare and examine the variations between responses produced by ChatGPT and human respondents. So the same question is asked to both humans and ChatGPT, and the responses are recorded. And the conversations are in a wide variety of topics, such as finance, health, law, and psychology, and so on. For our experiments, we used only the first 15,000 answers. And for the second data set, we used scientific paper titles and abstracts. The dataset Artificial Intelligence Generated Abstracts, AIGA, has both titles and abstracts, but we used only abstracts for our experiments. So the dataset is evenly split between AI-generated abstracts and human written abstracts. The AI-generated ones are from GPT-3 and labeled as 1. And the human written abstracts are labeled 0, sourced from a corpus of COVID-19 research papers. So the methodology we followed is to generate the vector embeddings using frameworks like Robert A and visualize them to see if there are any patterns which will help us answer the research questions, particularly the first research question. And then we use machine learning models to classify each text as synthetic as genuine. Then the evaluation metrics are computed to gauge the performance of these machine learning models. And then we interpret the model behavior using line, SHAP, and integrated gradients. And based on the results, we draw conclusions to answer the research questions. So for the visualization, we used a deep learning framework called variational autoencoders to reduce the dimensionality of the vector embeddings to just 2. So the left one was generated using mean squared error loss function, and the right one was generated using cosine similarity for the loss function. So the first research question, are the vector embeddings using Robert A robust enough for capturing the synthetic nature of the AI-generated text? From this figure, it does not seem like, right? Because the points, there is some distinction between the yellow points and the blue points, but not so much. There is a lot of overlap. But based on the classification done by the machine learning models, certainly yes, as we will see later. So we also visualize the data using kernel density estimate plots. KDE plots provide a smooth estimate of the probability distribution of a data set. They offer insights into its underlying structure, um, particularly with respect to the skewness and multimodality and things like that. The KDE plot here shows overlapping distributions for the two classes, indicating large regions where the two classes are not distinctly separated. For human written text, the distribution is slightly wider, implying greater variability. And the fake text distribution has a sharper and higher peak with comparably less variability. So visualization wise, not many distinctions are very evident. So then we used models, machine learning models. The first one was a support vector machine model. Uh, or rather, the first one was a Robert A classifier itself. We use a classification head on Robert A on the HC3 dataset, and it's almost perfect. The confusion matrix on the right indicates that the classification was almost perfect. Whereas support vector machines on the AIGA dataset resulted in 84% accuracy, and the logistic regression on AIGA is 90% accurate. So, so these models perform really well, though the visualization does not indicate so. The models perform really well. So that means when we reduce the dimensions to just two, I think the dimensionality reduction techniques are throwing away some valuable information. Uh, so then we tried to attempt using explainability techniques like line, sharp, and integrated gradients. Um, so line, as can be seen on this slide, was used to uh, generate insights. So the idea is Line uses a surrogate explainable model, such as a logistic regression or decision tree trained on a few perturbed data items synthetically generated around a specific data item in question. So it's local, basically it's local to a particular data item. So the features, the human interpretable features in this case are words. Um, so the most important words for the model's class prediction are listed in the middle of the figure, this one, um, along with their weights. Um, the weight of a feature indicates how important that feature was for the model prediction. For instance, the word study has the most weight of 0.05, which means that it was the most important feature for the model prediction. As can be seen, there are no significant words in the text that influence the model towards a one class prediction. If you see, the model prediction is one, uh, but there aren't any words which really influence the model to predict one. We observed similar kind of effect with when using SHAP and integrated gradients. The words did not really make a whole lot of difference, I mean, in our opinion, towards the classification. So the answer to the research question, um, so the vectors are capturing traits of synthetic information. Otherwise, the machine learning models would not have been able to achieve that kind of performance. But the explainable AI techniques are not up to the mark to provide the required insights. So, so this work was uh, uh, some of the work was contributed by my students, Madhulika Datta and Rakshit Gupta, and I thank them for this work. And if you have any questions, please reach out on email or on social media as well. And for more details, do read the paper. Thank you.